Welcome back to Words of Paradise. I'm your host, Leon Idol, and I'm a bit of a WWE fan. Only relatively recently. I had a friend really into it, had been his whole life, and he needed someone to watch it with him because frankly he didn't have anyone into it. So over the last 2 years, I've gotten real into WWE. Yeah, I know it's fake, or, really it's scripted, but really it's just like a soap opera with violence, and I love it. I've gotten to the point where I've got favorite wrestlers, and watch pay-per-views, and it's been a blast. One that I really enjoy is Randy Orton, who's been out of the game for a while, but I was just scrolling through Google and found an interesting article that, honestly, the headline piqued my interest, and I thought, really? I get to talk about WWE and the news and possible cancellation? So let's take a look at this. He should have already been canceled. Randy Orton causes huge uproar on social media after liking a controversial tweet. And here we have a picture of the man himself. What more can you expect from someone who hears voices in his head out of nowhere? Well, there goes the little respect that I had for the guy. So let's see what this is all about. The Apex Predator has been away from the squared circle since May last year. His last bout was against the Usos, which saw the Bloodline members defeat RK Bro to unify the Tag Team Championships. Orton and Riddle were attacked by Roman Reigns and the Usos after the match, which was a kayfabe. I'm maybe dumb and not... Again, I'm only recently into WWE. Kayfabe reason to write the Legend Killer off TV programming. Now, that was a good match. I like that match. Except for I hate the Usos, so I was very upset about it. This has nothing to do with the cancellation or the controversy quite yet. I just want to throw a fit about the fact that, dude, I cannot stand the Usos, and I dug RK Bro, so that sucked. Anyway, Randy Orton was dealing with a back injury that turned out to be much more severe than initially speculated. It was later reported that he needed spinal fusion surgery on his lower back and is currently recovering from the setback. However, Orton has caused a huge uproar on social media during his time away from the ring. The 14-time world champion recently liked a tweet that implied that COVID-19 vaccines are the reason for many athletes suffering from an untimely death these days. Okay, so that's what we're getting into? Awesome. I do love controversies like this because I got some things to say. Look, I don't know if it's the COVID vaccines or not. All I'm saying is that it is very suspicious that out of nowhere, athletes just start dropping dead, or if not dropping dead, start having these weird side effects and things going on. I mean, not even athletes. First of all, we have the basketball player recently, the college basketball player that just stumbled and then collapsed.
After collapsing on the court in the middle of a game.
We, of course, have Hamill, the NFL player that recently, had his heart just stop after he tackled a guy.
Wobbled for a second, then collapsed.
Again, very, very strange. And then we also had that newscaster, I think she was Canadian, that just started sputtering out and then going glass-eyed on live TV.
Now, Nariman, I'm looking at after the day, families are pushing the feds to. Sorry, Nariman, I'm not feeling very well right now, and I'm about to.
Okay, well, come back to me right now, and we'll make sure that, Jessica, you are doing okay.
And then we have articles that say things like parents need to know about, athletics and their how their children can die doing them. It's a lot of strange stuff all at once. So for Randy Orton to have an opinion on this, or even like a tweet with an opinion on this, well, he is a professional athlete. It's something that would be in the realm for someone like him to worry about. So I'm not going to see this as a controversy, at least this far, unless we get more information going forward. This was soon noticed by the Twitterati. I guess that's like paparazzi for Twitter. That's dumb. And many were quick to bash the Legend Killer for his anti-vax beliefs. Embedded below are a few of the many posts. Well, are we sure he's anti-vax? I don't know one way or the other, but I think calling him anti-vax for liking a question, liking a tweet that questions science is, they're not to be equated or conflated with one another, but let's see. At Light Matane, he should have already been canceled. Randy Orton, proud father, devoted husband, 14-time world champion. Just a friendly reminder that top athletes dropping dead was not a common occurrence before the introduction of COVID-19 mRNA vaccine mandates. To be fair, that's just kind of a fact. Like, regardless of whether it's from the COVID-19 vaccinations or not, doesn't alter the fact. There's correlation doesn't imply causation, but there is correlation. Dropping dead was not a common occurrence before the introduction of these vaccines. Just because it's a common occurrence after doesn't mean it's because of the vaccines. That's correlation, but not causation. All I'm saying is this is not exactly an infactual tweet. Man, the side headlock master being anti-vax is a shocker, especially since he's an expert on using needles. Alright. What top athlete passed away after COVID, or are we talking about the retired people that died? Okay, well no one's, to my knowledge, I could be wrong, but I don't think many have passed away, but there have been people who've just been, like, dropping on the field or dropping in the ring. It's just like people mid-game have just collapsed, and that's strange. I guess that's fair. When I said, dropping dead, I said that's not infactual. It is kind of an exaggeration, but the point is factual, not the message he's trying to get across, that athletes are out of nowhere being severely affected by something that, was not affecting them prior. Randy Orton, stop liking tweets, I'm begging. Stupid, stupid, stupid. Today, told y'all he was overrated. No, he's not. He's one of the greats. Randy Orton's anti-vax now. Again, liking this tweet doesn't mean he's anti-vax. That is so not the case. That's the equivalent of being like talking to a girl and saying, just blatantly saying, yo, I want to fuck you, and then calling it rape. I'm not saying they're not the same. I'm not saying one is okay. They're not justifying one or the other, but they're not the same. And that's him liking this tweet is not the same as him being anti-vax. We would need proof he's anti-vax. You need to come out and say, I'm anti-vax. And again, being anti this vaccine and being anti-vax are also different. Being anti-vax means you do not agree with vaccines, period. Being anti this vaccine is an individual case. So I don't like people making these, conflated statements. Randy Orton when the nurse asked if he got the COVID vax. Honestly, Randy's come around on worse stuff before. I usually dismiss people who think that way, but Orton could change his mind if he spends time with the right people. So yeah, it's a relatively positive tweet. It still, implies the connotation that he's wrong for thinking this way, which I don't necessarily agree with, but it's not a demonizing tweet. I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. I mean, why not root for him? Dude's having, spinal fusion surgery. You still want to root for a full recovery, regardless of what his beliefs on a vaccine are. What more can you expect from someone who hears voices in his head? Well, there goes a little respect I had for the guy. Not surprised. Oh, come on, Randall. Not my GOAT. Randy Orton is widely considered one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. The Apex Predator celebrated 20 years with the WWE last year in April and is already a 14-time world champion. However, Orton's latest injury has raised doubts in the minds of many. He's been out of action for nearly 8 months now, and with his last match coming in May 2022. Wrestling veteran Kenny Bolin recently addressed the 14-time world champion's future in the WWE, stating that he feels Orton should retire from in-ring competition. I mean, I don't know, maybe. I mean, yeah, he's had a pretty storied and historied career, but also, Edge had a pretty big medical issue, and after years he came back. Who's to say Orton can't do the same? And Edge is one of the GOATs again. Randy Orton's wife recently posted a picture of herself alongside the WWE star. The Apex Predator received many heartfelt messages from fans wishing him a speedy recovery. And, yeah, looks like that's really all there is to it. I don't know. I don't really see the controversy here. He liked to tweet. Obviously, Twitter has a problem with blowing things out of proportion, and maybe that's all this is. It's really too soon to tell, if we're all being completely honest. But at the end of the day, do I think his tweet, or not even his tweet, him liking a tweet, was controversial? No. Do I think he should be canceled for this? No, clearly I don't. You all know that I'm pretty anti-cancel culture. And not only that, but we've seen, what was limited run games do far worse to people for just liking and following people on social media. They fired that girl. Limited run games fired someone just for who they followed on Twitter and being excited for Hogwarts Legacy. This is just more of the same, but now it's affecting the wrestling community. All in all, I think it's a joke. I think it's a farce. And I think that, Randy Orton deserves, love, support, definitely support for his recovery, and hoping he gets back to the ring soon if he feels so inclined. And if not, retire with grace. And then like and retweet and whatever you want on social media, because who cares if people have differing opinions. But that's my thoughts on it. I want to hear yours. Let me know in the comments below whether you agree or disagree with me or Randy Orton, or you can let me know on Twitter at BoltTheWord, where, all these cringe individuals seem to hang out that I just can't get enough of. And do please like and subscribe. Definitely subscribe. I'm working hard to grow this channel. It would mean the world to me. And we get to cover more just fun, wacky, off-the-wall things like this. But until next time, this has been Words of Paradise.